And I don't know how he recognized me because he cannot see, but he introduced himself. I was so thrilled to meet him, Jose Feliciano. And here he is.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Schuller. How are you this morning?
I'm terrific because you're here.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad to be here. I've been well, I don't know if it's right to say like in a cathedral, but I've been a big fan of yours, you know, and your program and the great things that you do for people. And I'm so happy to be a part of this service this morning with you.
Thanks, Jose. You're wonderful. Now, is it true that you were born blind?
Yes, I was. I was born blind, as far as I know. I was born blind. But you know, I never saw really any difference between, let's say, me and the other kids. I always I always thought in visual terms. Sure, I knew, I was reminded of the fact that I was blind when I would bump into something and wouldn't feel too good. But I got to even overcome those kind of things, and I became very independent. And of course, music and God's help were my light.
Born in Puerto Rico?
Yes, I was born in Puerto Rico.
One of 11 sons?
Yes, that's correct. We were one of 11 boys, and I guess my family, my mother always wanted a little girl, but it never happened. And so now that I have a little girl, she is thrilled to death.
That's wonderful.
So she lives, those desires and feelings that she had, she lives through my little daughter.
Jose, you used to live in Orange County.
Yes, that's correct. I used to live in Orange County, and I moved to the East Coast, but I still love the people here in Orange County because, after all, they gave me a lot. And so I still try and give back to this county. I, being a Catholic, I go to, when I'm in Orange County, I go to St. Norbert's Church.
Good.
You know.
Good.
So I try to help them and the community.
Fantastic. Now, Jose, born sightless, how did you get interested in music?
Well, I think God had his plan for me. When I was a little boy of 3 years old, my uncle used to play the guitar, and I would accompany him on a tin cracker can. I'd play the bongos. And it scared me, Dr. Schuller, when it first happened, because, okay, if I were a little kid and I was just tapping for the sake of tapping, I could understand it. But I would tap in precise rhythm, and that scared me, and that's when I knew that God had a plan for me.
Fabulous. Then didn't you used to try first on the accordion?
Yes, I was an accordionist at the age of 7. And as a matter of fact, my mother used to try and get me on the Lawrence Welk show and had no success. But then I fell in love with this guitar and the sound and the way one could express oneself with it. And so I fell in love with this instrument, and it's been with me ever since.
You have won Grammys. 1, 2, 3...
4, 5, 6, I guess.
That's fantastic.
6 Grammys.
And gold records. Well, what does it take to get a gold record?
Well, I think you have to sell, I think 1 million copies or something like that. In some countries, like, you know, in Latin America, maybe 100,000.
But gold records, you have 37, 38...
Something like that.
39.
I've lost track, Dr. Schuller.
Isn't that fantastic? I was immediately touched when we met by a spirit that comes through your face. You know, you can't see your face. Let me tell you what you look like. Your face has a glow about it. There's an inner spirit that radiates, and it has a smile almost continuously. And that radiates the spirit of your best friend, Jesus Christ.
Well, most definitely. He has been a great friend to me through all my life, and I've always been a believer in God, and I think that's what's really helped me through my whole life. I'm blessed with 2 children and a very lovely wife. I'm blessed with the fact that I didn't want to wind up, let's say, like other blind people, maybe making baskets or doing something menial that I didn't think was for me. And not that I'm putting it down in any way, because we all have our niche in life, but that wasn't for me. And as soon as God guided me into music, you know, a lot of us, I feel, I don't know if you feel the same, Doctor, but I think sometimes people miss their calling for things, you know. Like they have a knack for painting, or they have a knack in sports, and they ignore that knack because they think there's something else, and thus they ignore the call that God has made for them.
Jose, that is a fabulous sermon you just gave. First, it's short. People like short sermons. But it's so terrific. I call it possibility thinking. Don't say it's impossible. You've heard a lot of these sermons, so I don't need to give you another one.
Oh, that's okay. I enjoy them.
But what you think around the world, if we go to Latin America, and then we go to Europe and the United States, if people voted for the most famous song that they know performed by Jose Feliciano, which one would it be?
Well, I would say, of course, in the pop field, Light My Fire, but of course I've written a Christmas song entitled Feliz Navidad, which is worldwide. It's kind of like catching up to White Christmas and the Christmas song.
Sure is, absolutely. You're going to sing something for us now, right?
Yes, this is an instrumental that I wrote on the Passion of our Lord Jesus Christ. I went to a museum in Philadelphia because I feel that just because you can't see certain things doesn't mean that you can't enjoy them. And so I went to a museum, and there was an old painting that someone described to me, and so when I went back to the hotel, I started playing a melody, and as I played it, I saw the route that Jesus Christ took on the cross, and I saw the procession that was there, and maybe you all can see it when I play it for you. So.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Jose. Just beautiful.
Thank you very much.
And I have to ask this question. You're going to play another song for us, right?
Sure.
But before you do, how did you learn when you can't see? You can't see where your fingers are. You can't see notes. How did you learn? Is it true you taught yourself?
Yes, I taught myself by listening to records and really just listening to records and playing with the guitar, and of course the rest was up to God. He knew where my hands went, so I didn't have to worry. And so I think everything took care of itself. I think I practiced a lot. When I went to school, I wasn't the best of students because even though I went to school and I thought an education was important, I knew at a very early age what I was going to do with my life. I knew I wanted to be a musician. I never thought I would be what everybody calls a star because, I don't know, really my goal really was to just be able to play. And even still today, one of the things that I enjoy is playing for myself. It really gets me sometimes when musicians of the old era will, after they retire, they'll put their instrument away and never touch it again. And it's kind of sad because the basic reason that I'm doing what I'm doing is because I love to play. And that's the first and foremost.
Jose, when we met, I said, oh, I would love to have you sing on our Hour of Power. And I was kind of nervous, you know, because I thought, oh, maybe I shouldn't ask him. You know, he's such a big star. But immediately you were so responsive to coming.
Well, I really wanted to be on this program because the program had done so much for me. I saw also other people like Tommy Lasorda, whom I think is a really wonderful person. And I saw so many other wonderful people come, and I said, you know, I really would love to be on this show because the show did a lot for me. It kind of reaffirmed my positive thinking, and it kind of made me do more for myself and believe in myself. So it's a wonderful program, and the things that you do, Dr. Schuller, I think God, of course, is working through you and has sent you to us as one of his messengers. So
thank you, Jose.
thank you.
Where's my smile?
All right.
Okay.
It's a nice smile, too. Very warm. Well, I would like to do this song that is going to be part of a Christian album. I think it's time for me to, even though I do pop music, to do something for the Lord as well and to show my gratitude. So anyway, this is a song entitled, Blessed is the One. Blessed is the one who has the love of a child, gives him a reason to smile, gives him a reason for living. Blessed is the child who has someone to love him, someone to give him a reason to grow. Blessed is the one God chooses for his plan, who has compassion for his fellow man. Blessed is the one who knows what's right and what's wrong. The world can never be wrong if you are singing God's song. God chooses for his plan, who has compassion for his fellow man. Blessed is the one who knows what's right from what's wrong. The world will never be wrong when you are singing God's song.